My name is Salmons. I'm from Wisconsin. Wisconsin is a small town. We have the same issues, with everything pretty much. A couple days after the fire, I've heard people say that social media is not a good thing. I absolutely beg to differ. We had Iris sent out on a very weak signal an email begging for help for the animals. She was here behind. She was pleading for help watering the animals. Through the people I contacted on this side, a couple of rescues, Dianne, a couple other people, we were able to get water trucks. We were able to get animal feed. They were met at the roadblock with resistance, but they were able to get a lot in. Because of the animal situation that I was trying very, very hard to help with, I became to know Dianne. Dianne put out an invitation asking people to come and search for Jim and Kyrie because nobody else was doing it. Yesterday at 8:30 a.m., 8 o'clock a.m., I met with Dianne and a few other women, a couple gentlemen. I believe there were 13 of us. The sheriff department wanted us to wait until he could speak to everybody. We don't know what he was going to tell us. We expected them to tell us, we could not go in, we could not search. The one woman slipped away and went up the ridge anyway. We got tired of waiting. She sent information back that she was onto something up there. Dianne and I and a few others went up the bridge. We figured there was only two of them and there was more of us, and we could outrun them. But it took a small group of women less than half an hour to find two people that have been missing for 10 days that we could get nobody else to search for them. And I hear stories that law enforcement, border patrol, CAL FIRE, I don't know, have been up there looking for them. We have no experience. We're not search and rescue. We have no knowledge. We were able to figure out that you can look for dog tracks of all the animals they left behind, and you could follow a smell. And once we were onto that, we had found them in under 15 minutes. And I want to know why it took a small group of women, who the last thing we wanted to do was go up on a ridge and find the remains of two people. Why it took that long before somebody else would search for them.
That's why the sheriffs are here today to address that issue.
And then building on that, I would also like to know why they roped off the area after we found them and we came back down. They stood in the shade. We stood next to a hot truck on the street. Besides taking a statement, I don't think anybody came to see how we were feeling. We're just women. We've never seen anything like that. I will see that for the rest of my life. I will never not see that. There was no grief counseling. There was nobody showing it. There was nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Thank you. Kim Hamilton, Kim does a great job with the Dearborn Alert and make sure she gets out accurate information. And Kim, you may want to share, because we talk a lot about communication, community networks, and you do an awesome job.
I think I'll just quickly reiterate what others have said. That I think social media definitely has its role. And though we were in Dearborn Valley, we didn't have cell coverage either, and we typically don't have good cell coverage. And so the question of how many have cell phones is good, but how many have connections is the follow-up part, and a lot of us don't. I have to walk out with a chicken to get that. And that happens a lot. So the internet was our savior. And that's how a lot of information was being shared those first few days. I'd like to follow that with the fact that I think it's so important. I heard of a lot of people here, and I'm one of them that don't live here. We didn't go through this in Potrero. Listen to the locals on the ground. You just heard from one, you've heard from others. Those are the people whose voices right now really, really need to be shared. Because they were there, I heard them fighting for days and days to try to get a search party out. They said, we think they're up on the ridge. We think that they're in the caves. We think they may have tried to look for their dogs. I mean, they had good local information and they were not being listened to. And I don't care what you hear later today, they were not being listened to, and I heard it after person after person after person after person. Beyond that, I have a question for CAL FIRE, for strict knowledge. How did this fire go from, my first alert was it was 2 to 3, less than 5 acres, low rate of spread, no wind, no structured threat, and the next thing, and it was Father's Day, so I was down in town with my family. All of a sudden, mandatory evacuations were there, and I know you guys will be looking at it. I mean, I know that that's part of it, but that's a question a lot of people have. We've had an issue about fire grants that SDG&E for the power link gives. The process was very non-transparent this year. Lots of people were denied for no reason. One person got a $2,100 grant, but they denied everything except her street sign. This was a horrible process that went on, and I'd like to see that cleaned up so that the people that need that grant money to help with their defensible space get it.
And we'll get SDG&E at the follow-up meeting as well as the other agencies.